x squared minus 7x plus 12 is equals to 0, right? So we are supposed to solve for x, right? So if we try and factorize this, we're going to get x, and then on another bracket, we also have x being equals to 0. The right question to ask yourself at this point is, which two numbers do I multiply and get 12? And then when I add them, I get minus 7, right? That is minus 4 and minus 3. So we're going to get x minus 4, x minus 3 being equals to 0. So it is easy to see from this point that x is equals to 4 or x is equals to 3. And just like that, you have scored yourself 3 marks. And then the following question, 1.1.2, we have x multiplied by 3x plus 5 being equals to 1. We're supposed to solve for x correctly 2 decimal places. As soon as you see 2 decimal places, at this point you should know that you're supposed to use the quadratic formula, right? So let's go ahead and try writing this in standard format. So if we solve the left hand side, we're going to get 3x squared plus 5x is equals to 1. We take 1 to the other side to get 3x squared plus 5x minus 1 is equals to 0, right? We know that we cannot factorize this. So let's just go ahead and paste the quadratic formula. X is equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, everything divided by 2a, right? So if we go ahead and substitute, so this constant here, 3 is a, 5 is b, and minus 1 is c, right? So that we on the same page. And then if we substitute, we're going to get, in place of minus b, we have minus 5, and then plus or minus b squared. So we're going to have 5 squared minus 4ac. A is 3 and c is minus 1. Everything divided by 2a. A is 3, right? So we have x, and then x will be equals to, so one value you're going to get 0.18, and the other value you're going to get x being equals to minus 1.85. And just like that, we've solved for x using the quadratic formula. Let's see if we can do 1.13, right? It looks a bit more interesting. So for 1.13, we have x squared, which is less than minus 2x plus 15. Let's take minus 2x plus 15 to the left hand side and see what we get. We're going to have x squared plus 2x minus 15 being less than 0. What can we do now? Critical values. We need our critical values, right? So to find our critical values, we're going to say x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equals to 0. Again, we're going to open 2 brackets. We're going to open 2 brackets and ask ourselves that key question again. Which 2 numbers do I multiply and get minus 15? But when I add them, I get plus 2. That is plus 5 and minus 3. So we're going to get x plus 5, x minus 3. So x is equals to minus 5 or x is equals to 3, right? So let me propose something to you. What if I say x is between minus 5 and 3? Is this the case? We cannot just conclude that that holds, right? We have to actually test it out and see if our inequality is going to be maintained. So a number between minus 5 and 3, let's go ahead and take 1, right? So let's not forget that we started with x squared being less than minus 2x plus 15. So if we take 1, we're going to get 1 squared on the left hand side, right? So that is 1, which is supposed to be less than minus 2 multiplied by 1 plus 15. So we have 1 being less than, so we have minus 2 plus 15, that should be 13, right? And then indeed 13 is greater than 1. So this is actually our answer. This is what we're looking for. But what were you gonna do if we took a number between -5 and 3, and then our inequality was not maintained, what were you gonna do next? What was gonna be our solution? You need to watch the other videos I've done on solve for X to know what to do in such cases. Because this right here, this is not always the case, right? Some people think that it is always like that, but I'm telling you, it is not. You need to actually check that out. And then 1.1.4, we have the square root of 2 multiplied by 1 minus x being equals to x minus 1. So it's easy to see here that we can square both sides to get rid of the square root, right? So we're gonna get 2 multiplied by 1 minus x being equals to x squared minus 2x plus 1, right? So we squared here, and then on the left hand side we're gonna get 2 minus 2x being equals to x squared minus 2x plus 1. Right, so if we take minus 2x to the right hand side, it is gonna be plus 2x, right? And then if we take 2 to the right hand side, it's gonna be minus 2, right? And then ultimately we're gonna get x squared minus 1 being equals to 0. So x squared is equals to 1. So x is equals to 1, or x is equals to minus 1. Right? So every time when you start with the square root and you square both sides, right, you're probably gonna have an answer which is not necessarily true for the original equation you started with. So we actually have to go and check whether x is equals to 1 is actually a solution to the equation we started with. And then we check also for x is equals to minus 1 to see if it's actually a solution for what we started with. So let's go ahead and do that. We have the square root of 2, 1 minus x being equals to x minus 1. So when x is equals to 1, what are we going to get? We're going to get the square root of, so we're going to have 1 minus 1. So we just get 0, right? Being equals to 0 essentially. So 0 is equals to 0. So when x is equals to 1, there's no issues arising. What about when x is equals to minus 1? Let's see. We're going to have 2 multiplied by 1 minus x. So that is 2 multiplied by 1 plus 1. Basically 2, right? And then we're going to have minus 1 minus 1. So here on the left hand side, we're going to have the square root of 4 being equals to minus 2, right? So you can see that this doesn't hold. So our answer here is only supposed to be x is equals to 1, right? And then 1.2. So for 1.2, we're supposed to solve for x and y simultaneously, and then we're given 3 to the x plus y is equals to 27, and x squared plus y squared is equals to 17. Let's see if we can manipulate these first before moving to the second equation. So it's easy to see that we can write these as 3 to the x plus y being equals to 3 to the power 3. So x plus y is equals to 3, right? So what can we do? We're told that x squared plus y squared is equals to 17. Let's try squaring both sides and see what we're going to end up with. If we do that, if we square both sides, we're going to have x squared plus 2xy plus y squared being equals to 9. Right. And then we can have x squared plus y squared plus 2xy being equals to 9. We know that x squared plus y squared is equals to 17, right? So let's sub that in there. So we're going to have 17 plus 2xy being equals to 9. 2xy should be equals to 9 minus 17. So that should be minus 8. Right. So that is what we have there. So 2xy is equals to minus 8, right? But we know that x plus y is supposed to be equals to 3. So if we make y the subject of the formula, we can say that y is equals to 3 minus x, right? So let's substitute this back into this equation. If we do that, we're going to get 2, and then x is x, so x is x, and then y is 3 minus x, and then this is all equals to minus 8. 6x minus 2x squared is equals to minus 8, right? Now let's take minus 8 to the left hand side. We're going to get 6x minus 2x squared plus 8 being equals to 0, right? And then if we divide everything by minus 2, we're going to get minus 3x plus x squared minus 4 being equals to 0, right? So we can write this nicely as x squared minus 3x minus 4 is equals to 0, right? So now what are we looking for? We are looking for two numbers that when we multiply, we get minus 4. When we add them, we get minus 3, right? So that is minus 4 and plus 1. So we have x plus 1, x minus 4. So x can be equals to minus 1, or x can be equals to 4. But what is y when x is equals to minus 1? We know that y is equals to 3 minus x. 3 minus x. So when x is equals to minus 1, y should be equals to, so that is 3 minus 1, y should be equals to 4. And then when x is equals to 4, y is equals to 3 minus x. So y is equals to 3 minus 4, y should be equals to minus 1. Right, so that is 1.2. If you want to see the solution for 1.3, click this video in the screen right now.